16-year-old Lyn Bryant left her home on a quiet night in March 1998. She was just going for a short walk, a walk she had taken many times before. She never made it back. More than 25 years later, no one has been held accountable for her murder. And the question that still haunts her family and an entire community remains unanswered. Who killed Lyn Bryant? Lyn was a teenager living on the Gurnos Estate in Merthyr Tydfil, Wales. Friends described her as friendly, outspoken, and full of life. She was young, but she had plans, opinions, and a future that stretched far beyond the streets she grew up on. On the evening of March 14, 1998, Lyn told her family she was going out for a walk. It wasn't unusual. The area was familiar, the distance was short. Nothing about that night suggested it would end in tragedy. Hours passed. Lyn did not return home. As concern turned into panic, a search began. Friends, family members, and police officers combed the area, hoping she had simply gone somewhere unexpected. But the truth waiting to be discovered was far worse. The following day, Lyn Bryant's body was found on wasteland near her home. She had been attacked and left there. She was 16 years old. The community was stunned. Fear spread quickly across the estate. Parents pulled their children indoors. Neighbors locked their doors earlier than usual. This was not just a crime. It was a shock to the belief that something like this could never happen here. Police launched a murder investigation almost immediately. They believed Lyn had been attacked not far from where she was found. Someone had taken her life and left her there, in an area they likely knew well. From the beginning, detectives were convinced the killer was local. They believed someone in the community knew exactly what had happened that night. Hundreds of people were interviewed. Dozens of statements were taken. Tips poured in from the public as fear and urgency spread. Yet, despite the effort, the investigation struggled to gain traction. Witness accounts were unclear, timelines conflicted. Critical moments slipped through the cracks as days turned into weeks. Police later announced they were searching for a man seen wearing distinctive clothing on the night Lyn disappeared. Public appeals were made. Posters were distributed throughout the area. Helplines were set up, urging anyone with information to come forward. Still, no arrest was made. As months passed, frustration grew. For Lyn's family, grief became something heavier, a constant and unanswered pain. They were left not only mourning a daughter, but living with uncertainty. Uncertainty about who was responsible, and uncertainty about whether that person was still walking free. Over the years, the case remained open but quiet. Occasional appeals would resurface. Anniversaries would bring renewed attention, but no breakthrough ever came. Rumors circulated through the community. Names were whispered behind closed doors. Speculation filled the silence left by the absence of answers. But rumors are not justice, and speculation cannot replace truth. For Lyn's loved ones, time did not heal the wound. It only deepened the question that never went away. How could a 16-year-old girl be murdered so close to home and no one be held responsible? In later years, advances in forensic science offered a small glimmer of hope. Cold cases around the world were being reopened. DNA technology was solving crimes once believed to be impossible to crack. Lyn Bryant's case was reviewed again. Evidence was re-examined. Investigators urged anyone with information, no matter how small, to come forward. They made one thing clear: someone out there knows something. But even with modern tools, the case remains unsolved. No charges, no conviction, no closure. Lyn's murder is not just a story from the past. It is a reminder of what happens when justice is delayed. A young life was taken, a family was changed forever, and a community was left with a shadow that still has not lifted. Today, more than 2 decades later, Lyn Bryant would be in her 40s. She would have lived a life beyond headlines and police appeals, a life that was stolen before it had a chance to begin. Her case is still open, and it still matters, because time does not erase responsibility, and silence does not equal innocence. If you believe stories like Lyn's deserve to be remembered, not forgotten, then your engagement matters. Sharing this video helps keep her name alive. Leaving a comment keeps the conversation going, and subscribing helps ensure unresolved cases continue to be told. Because sometimes awareness is the only thing that keeps justice possible, and sometimes the answer is closer than anyone thinks.